Okay, folks, not gonna do a whole bunch of perfunctory, just gonna get right into this one. I should have uploaded this one behind the one that I already done about, all the thousands of immigrants being released inside the United States, which I already knew about anyway. Oh, and before I go any further, my apologies to Ken Murphy. I read his comment wrong. I interpreted wrong. And anytime I say, like I've always said, anytime I say something out in public and I have to correct myself, I will. I won't remove my comment to try to make it look like I didn't say it. I correct myself on the same platform that I made my mistake on. See that now, if more people done that, I think everybody, even if they're on different sides of the argument, would get along. Not saying that we are on different sides of the argument, but if more people done that, we probably be able to roll a little easier here. Okay, now that that's out of the way, let's get with this. Former ICE director calls out the real reason Biden is flooding America with illegal immigrants. Now, this is the sentiment, been the sentiment of a lot of people, me including, for decades. This predates Biden. Okay, Biden just happened to be sitting in the big chair right now. Okay, and that, now that's me talking on that. I'm not saying that you should think the way that I think. I'm just telling you what I know, being I live in a border state, and I'm not all the way up in the North Panhandle. I'm closer to the southern border than I am the center of the state. Okay. But anyway, let's get it. Former acting ICE director Tom Homan appeared on Fox News to talk about the immigration policies of the Biden administration. Be clear what's happening here. President Biden has declared the entire country a sanctuary jurisdiction, which means more tragedies gonna come, Homan said. Mark my word, people will die, people will be raped, people will be victimized by criminals that shouldn't even be here. This is coming. And we've been talking about this for 2 years. Actually, I've been talking about it for well over 20 years. And it's already started, Steve. I want to mention one more thing. There's a national sex offender operation planned last week called Operation Talon. They were targeting the arrest of sexual convicted sexual offenders, including child molesters. They canceled the operation on the heels of this memorandum. So it's already started. We have sexual predators who are here illegally walking the streets in our communities because of the actions of this administration. I hope I didn't just read what he's going to say in the video, but I say predators and traffickers and molesters and all that stuff, whether they're natural born, immigrated here legally or illegally, to me, they're all a problem. And all of them, I don't care their nationality, color, place of origin, what they mama name is. They all should be vaporized as soon as they're located. All of them. All of them. I don't care where you're from, your place of origin. Okay, let's play the audio. I hope I just didn't read what he said, but I probably did, knowing me.
President Joe Biden's plan to reshape America's immigration policy through executive order hitting a roadblock after a federal judge extended the suspension of Biden's deportation freeze of 100 days. But some major changes are still to come, and it's being revealed the White House has guidelines to limit arrests and deportations by ICE. We've been talking about it for the last couple of days. Here to react is Fox News contributor and...
Of course, I got to pause it so I can meet the requirements of fair use, that I'm just not going to playing it all the way through without making any commentary.
Retired ICE director Tom Homan. Tom, good morning to you.
Good morning.
So these guidelines that are circulating, it makes it sound like, for the average crime, that somebody who is in this country illegally commits, they're not going to get deported. So it's harder to arrest them, which means it's harder to deport them.
Exactly, and that's what they're doing. They're circumventing the judge's order, and thank God for the AG in Texas who's taking this on, and thanks to Chip Roy. Chip Roy has led a group of 50 senators to send a letter asking about this. But look, I'm a part of that lawsuit. I actually filed an affidavit with the Texas AG explaining to him the consequences of such a policy. Because look, you and I, Steve, have talked the last couple of years. Every time someone's released from a sanctuary jail, they commit a murder, commit a rape, we talk about it for a couple of days and it goes away. Be clear what's happening here. The President Biden has declared the entire country a sanctuary jurisdiction, which means more tragedies are going to come. Mark my word. People will die. People will be raped. People will be victimized by criminals that shouldn't even be here.
Yep, that's what I read. Oh, geez.
It's coming. And we've been talking about this for 2 years. And it's already started, Steve, because I want to mention one more thing. There's a national sex offender operation planned last week called Operation Talon. They were targeting the arrest of convicted sexual offenders, including child molesters. They canceled the operation on the heels of this memorandum. So it's already started. We have sexual predators who are here illegally walking the streets in our communities because of the actions of this administration.
Well, you look at the numbers, surge in numbers. The daily average flow last month was 2,000. Last month it was 2,000. Now it is 3,500. There were portions of the Arizona border the law enforcement had seen gigantic increases in, and those had completely gone dead during the Trump administration. And then when you look at last calendar year, 103,000 total arrests, 90% of those who were arrested had criminal convictions or pending criminal charges.
Let me pause that one so y'all can see that just in case it blows by. 90% of those arrested had criminal convictions or pending criminal charges. 90%. Now, I'm going to be totally honest with you because, to me, illegal is illegal. Here illegally is here illegally. But I got to be honest. And I would say if that number was like 10%, now I'm quite sure the 10% of the victims of their victims wouldn't want to hear but I would actually have went, 10%, or single digits. I literally would have went, even though I know I shouldn't, but that's just human nature, my part of my human nature. But 90%, I can't go on 90% of anything.
But now, because given the fact that the law enforcement is so hamstrung in who they can arrest and who they can deport, what's going to happen to all those people?
There was no reason to reprioritize what ICE does. If they would have clearly looked at the data, 91% of everybody ICE arrests is either a convicted criminal or pending criminal charges. What they just did, they took 95%, and that's not an exaggeration, 95% of the criminals ICE have arrested are now off the table. They're free in the community. And what kind of message does that send to the rest of the world? If you're coming to the country illegally, if you can get past the Border Patrol, don't commit an aggravated felony, and you're home free. You get to stay because ICE is not looking for you. It's no longer illegal to be here illegally. In my 34 years of doing this job, and I started as a Border Patrol agent, I climbed the ladder to be an ICE director. First one to climb up through the ranks. When I read this policy, this is the most anti-law enforcement.
And being he started at the bottom, who would know more about the system than he when you started as a foot soldier and climbed all the way to the very top?
Pro-criminal policy that I could ever imagine in my worst nightmare. I cannot believe they put this in writing. This is sending a message to the rest of the world. The border is surging. And in the memo, they said, we have to do this. We have to redeploy resources to the border to deal with the asylum cases. They fail to mention the surge at the border is of their own making because of their promises and their enticements. That's why there's a surge at the border. But they want this. This is designed to be this way. They're bringing millions of people into this country who will now be counted on the census because Joe Biden overturned that, which leads to seats in the House, Electoral College, and elections. This is power over public safety, the quest for power over protecting American citizens.
All right, nobody knows more about the topic than you do. Tom Homan, thank you very much for joining us live.
Thanks for having me.
You bet.
By chance. And like I said, I've said in video upon video upon video, the effects, the Electoral College. We done live streams on the Electoral College. Me and ABL years ago, 4 or 5 years before the Trump administration, done live stream on the Electoral College. Boy, man, me and ABL got all kind of heat from that. You know, like, I let y'all know I cried myself to sleep. Just let y'all know that my feelings was just beat all to hell. I'm surprised I didn't jump off. The good thing I'm not in New York or New Jersey, because I would have probably jumped off the Chesapeake. But no, I'm good. But there's always an end game. And like I said, we've been talking about this for years. It's the electoral colleges, because the politicians, especially the ones running for election, the electoral college selects your president. Now, your individual vote affects the electoral college, but at the end of the day, the electoral college gives the points and gives the points to this candidate or that candidate to hit that magic number to win. The projected count versus the total count. All of that is done by the Electoral College. But anyway, I'll leave that alone, because there's tons upon tons of videos available, some of them available on my channel, about how the Electoral College works. And I'm quite sure ABL probably, I'm going to guess, he probably still has that video up on his channel where that we done on the Electoral College, what it is and how it affects American politics. So it's probably still on his channel. But anyway, thank y'all. Rate, comment, share, subscribe. Bye.